Good morning and welcome to my hobby bench. As you can see on the table here today, I've got a couple of vintage OS Max engine boxes, and this is actually a new customer engine to service and get operational. But the beautiful thing about this particular customer and these engines is, A, I've never seen them before, and B, he actually sent a parts engine in case it was necessary to have. So instead of looking at the parts engine, let's just look at the engine that was sent here for me to service. And this engine is an OS 61 VF. So this is a serious pattern competition engine. And you can see here it comes with the manual. Beautiful. And here is this beautiful engine. Here's the carb. Comes with a 7D carb, which is free and huge. I mean, these 7D carbs are just huge. This is one of those ones that has a ball link on here, so this is going to be interesting for me to try to connect up to, because I don't have any ball links that are that large. I may have to see if for some reason Hobby Town USA here might have something that I can use. Otherwise, I got to try and rig something up to grab that. This carb looks like it's in fine shape. Here we've got our exhaust header, or adapter I should say. And here's the engine. A couple of locking washers are in here. Here's the engine. So it's a front intake, front carb, but rear exhaust, because this is specifically designed for use in pattern airplanes. Now, the thing that I'm thinking looks weird here is I'm looking at that glow plug that's in there, and it kind of looked like it was at an angle. Let me see if I can pull this plug out real quick. Oh wow, it's in there pretty tight. Okay. This will be interesting to see what this plug is. It's got an old aluminum washer on it. So I'm going to just leave this plug out here. We got a couple of screws here for the header. So this thing is locked up. It doesn't move at all. So what I think I'm going to do here is I am going to just put some oil in this thing, and we're going to heat this thing up and see if I can just get it freed up. And that'll be the extent of it. I mean, this engine, it looks like it's in perfect condition. The only question I have is when I take it apart, there's probably going to be gaskets here. I hope that the person that I get my gaskets from, I hope these are standard size gaskets for like the 61 FSR. It should be. I don't see a prop nut and washer in that box, so hopefully there's one in the other box, because I may need that to turn this thing over. In fact, let me just stop that right now. Let me see about this gasket here. Off. Didn't get that too hot. Let's look in this parts engine box and see if we've got a nut and washer on here. We've got a drive hub. Well, I see a Woodruff key, some tools, but I am not seeing. Looks like a brand new drive hub. The thing that's interesting about this drive hub is there's a Woodruff key in here, but it's not a drive hub that accepts a Woodruff key. So I don't see a nut and washer, so it looks like we're going to have to get a nut and washer set. Hopefully I'm not sure if that looks like 5/16 by 24. If it is, I probably have some nuts here that I can put on there. But I'm probably going to need to do that. So I think I'm going to have to stop the video here and then resume it and get this thing turning over once I find a washer, a nut to put on here so that I can put a prop on here to help me turn this thing over once it gets hot. Okay, I have found a prop that I had to ream out. I borrowed this washer from my OSFS 90 rear rocker 4-stroke engine, and I found a 5/16 nut. So now I can continue heating this thing up. I'm going to have to heat this quite warm because it's really stiff. Looking at the inside of the rear there, it doesn't look like it's really ever been run much, if at all. I have to keep moving this around so I don't point my heat gun at something that I shouldn't point it at, like a box, plastic. This looks very much just like a 61 or 60 FSR, which I have one of those, so hopefully that gasket set will be the same. Now this is a ABC engine. Okay, so now we got it freed up here. Alright. It looks like it might have a little bit of run time on it, but I wouldn't say a whole lot. Alright, so we're freed up here. I think the next thing we can do here is, I would kind of like to see, just for the heck of it, if, I don't know if it'll fit, if this little OS drive hub motor drive washer puller will fit on this engine. So that's probably going to be the next order of business, is getting that drive washer off. Nope, it's not going to fit. That was not designed for that engine. So I think what I'm going to have to do is get my gear pullers out, keep this thing up some more. Get that off. It's funny how I never really snug these things up super tight because I don't think they're really meant to be super tight. Sometimes you need a little bit of that slop in there. It's still rather warm. Got good engagement there. Just going to put some tension on that. And that was enough. Popped right off. So I have a feeling that this engine is, you know, obviously very low runtime. I mean, look at this front bearing. It looks beautiful. I don't know that these bearings are necessarily going to need to be replaced, but no worries, because I did order a nice set of Boca bearings for this engine. So let's see if we can get, this thing is still rather warm. Get that stuff off. I just got to remember, one of the things I got to do is get a prop set and washer, nut and washer set on order for this engine. And I think that's all we're going to do for this right now. I'll continue the disassembly of this engine, and my customer did say that he would send the tune pipe and header separately. I don't have those on hand yet, so once I get this engine all bearings replaced and all ready to go, we will be doing a tune pipe run, which will be interesting for me because I've never really done a whole lot of tune pipe running of engines. Maybe one time, and it wasn't even very good, but the pipe he's providing was used for this engine, so it's really already been tuned. So it should just be a matter of just putting it on there, finding a way to secure it on my stand, and running this thing. So it should be really fun to do. So there's our OS Max 61V engine. Okay, so I'm going to continue with the disassembly of this engine. I just started removing the head screws. Then I remembered I should probably put the camera on. So here's the underside of the head. One of the screws dropped out. Let's just start putting these parts over here and see. I don't know if I've got a popsicle stick, or I do have a popsicle stick, but I'm going to need to get my bamboo skewer, I think, to actually get that sleeve out when the time comes. Let's go ahead and do this rear cover first. Still a little warm from when I heated it up, so it's a nice hand warmer right now. I might have to tap that with a piece of wood or a mallet. Get that thing motivated to turn a little bit here. Go. Okay, so there we go. There's the inside. Man, if this thing's been run, it hadn't been run much. I don't know if there's any chance that that gasket will survive. Let's see if we can very delicately get this gasket off here. It's only, what, how many years old is this gasket? Pretty old. Either way, I'm probably gonna get a new gasket set for this, just because I don't think I would want to be reusing that one. Some of it still came off on there. I'm not really sure of a good way to remove gaskets like that that are really on there. Looks like I'm gonna have to put this drive hub and prop back on here to motivate this sleeve to want to move out. I think I'm going to have to use a little bit more oil on this too. Heat this sleeve up. I wonder if that's really going to be necessary though. Am I going to have to? Yeah, I'll probably have to get that sleeve out. Put some oil in here. Now that I got room in here. Drizzle some more oil all in this thing. Alright, let's get the glove on. I got my bamboo skewer so we can get this sleeve out. I think that's the best route, even though this is front housing detachable. I think the best route is to take that sleeve out this way. But let's heat this thing up and see what happens. Making special note of the pin placement on this sleeve. Oh, that's really, really warm. I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know how I'm supposed to get that out now. It's pretty darn warm. I think I'm going to have to use something a little stouter than that. There we go. Yeah, it's a little warm. There we go. Okay, sleeves out. Let's see if this piston's or connecting rod's gonna want to just let go of this thing. Of course, it doesn't really matter. I don't really need to do that right now anyway. I'll put that over there. So now I can simply take this off and pull the front housing apart. Now there will be a gasket on that front housing too, so I'm just going to have to look for 61 FSR gaskets from my gasket supplier. That should not be a problem. I wonder if that's going to be willing to just come off again now. Put the oil on that thing. Still not gonna. Let's see if that's gonna let me drive that out. Yeah, it's coming out. Wow, that's really, really hot still. That's good enough to at least get that out of the way so I can break its screw loose. I don't know that I've ever disassembled a OS 61 or 60, either one, FSR engines. Maybe I have, I don't know. I've done so many, I don't recall all the engines. There we go. And now we can just pull this thing apart. And I can see, ooh, wow. I can see already that that gasket broke in the process. that piston. I mean, there's just a little bit of usage on this. This piston's like brand new. Hell, let me see if I can even just... It's just beautiful. Yeah, see how that gasket didn't survive. That's a kind of one of the drawbacks to these type of setups is those gaskets seldom ever, unless they're just really new, but this one's over 30 years old or more, so I wouldn't expect it to survive. I'm pretty sure just standard FSR gasket will work on this. So this leaves us to the point of just basically being able to remove bearings, which will be saved for a Boca bearing removal and installation video.